This is the Pete Wong Podcast, sharing the things that I love with those that I love. I've always wanted to talk about the things that I care about in life. People have told me time after time, why don't you just share more of you? And with that, let's go.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to this week's new episode of the Pete Wong Podcast. How is everyone doing out there in the world? I hope everyone is taking care of themselves and remaining healthy as one can be in these current times. We have an amazing episode coming up here today. It is a beautiful day. We got the sunshine, and very excited to be for everyone to be meeting today's guests. And actually, I've never met our guest today either, so I'm really excited to dive right in and get to know her. I actually have our buddy Henry Rodriguez coming back to co-host. Hey, Henry.
Hello, everyone.
Today's guest is going to be Analu Martínez. So last time Henry and I did the podcast recording, he mentioned to me someone that he thought might be great for to be a guest, and so he suggested Analu. And hi Henry, hi Analu. Can you tell us how you two know each other?
All right. So, okay, this is Henry. All right. So, I've met Analu maybe twice in my life. She first came into my radar in the early 2000s through my cousin in Guatemala, and he talked about this little girl, because you were a little girl at the time, that was funny. And you know, that's what it was. Then fast forward to 2011, I moved to Guatemala to live there for a little while, and that's where I met her and her brother. But it was, as I said, maybe twice I met her. But then over time, she kept popping up in conversation while talking to Emmanuel Oarca, who you know as Manny, the actor. Maybe a few months ago, he put out an interview with her. And that's when I really started paying attention. Now, I'm not a soccer fan or football fan. I'm not. I played soccer a couple of times in my life, but you know, that's as far as it goes. But in the interview, really get to know her story and who she is as an individual. She's the first Guatemalan international professional soccer player. I believe she may be the first Guatemalan, period, male or female. She's nothing short of inspirational to anyone. This is what brought her to my radar, and I'm like, holy Christ, this person is amazing. And then you and I got to talking about it, and here we are. And she was gracious enough to allow us to do an interview with her, and I'm so looking forward to what comes out of this. And without further ado, here is Miss Analu Martínez. Hello, Analu.
Hey everyone. I'm so thankful for this interview. Actually, I think this is my first interview in English, which maybe I will have like a lot of mistakes, but you know, step by step, I can keep doing it. And yes, as you say, like I think I'm a fighter because I have been fighting all the time for my dreams. And as Henry said, I started playing soccer as a hobby, as a girl who wants to have fun. I still have a lot of energy, but in that moment maybe more. and I love to do sports. I love like to run, to be free, to be able to do everything. And I think I grew up on an environment which I was allowed to do everything I wanted, like sports, or I don't know, studies was like a priority for my brothers and my sister. And I think growing like that was very, very good for me, because I always wanted to be, or I thought I can do something important as a person. I know I always felt like a little bit different as my friends at school, like everywhere. I just felt like I can do a little bit more than this. So I started like playing all I play all the sports. I did like I don't know, running, swimming, like all the sports, basketball, volleyball, everything. I was very good and skilled at the moment. So after I finished my school, I just decided to focus on soccer, which I felt like it gives me like this um, fulfillment in sports, which I can share. Like I can have the skills, and I don't know, maybe I can pursue something more than just as a hobby. But in that moment, I was just focused on studying. And my mom always said, like, if you study, you can play, or everything that you do, you have to do it 100%. You have to be excellent in whatever area you're working on. So that's what I was focused on, football or soccer, and I was focused on my studies. So I finished the university in 5 years, even though I was playing for the national team, and I traveled some different countries and tournaments. And I think it also opened me my mind, and I was able to see how soccer was supported in other countries, because I never thought you can be or be a professional what in sports, like I didn't know. So for me, this helps me a lot to know how women football was supported in other countries.
I took a peek at I think it was your Wikipedia. Are you pretty happy with the way it's written out in the in the Wikipedia? Is it accurate? Do they have anything that's not accurate?
Like a couple months ago, a group of women, I think scientists, were working on this program where they wanted to share the stories of women in Guatemala. So they were asking me about my life, and we worked together my Wikipedia page. So it's more or less like that, like because I gave the information.
Can you tell the listeners currently the team that you're playing on, and kind of what's been going on there, and tell us about your experience, and then I might want to backtrack to your timeline, but I think it would be nice for the listeners to kind of know where you're at currently.
Well, right now I'm living in Rome, in Italy. I'm on a team called Roma CF, or Roma Calcio Femminile, which is in Serie B in Italy. I just moved a couple weeks ago. I was playing in another team called Napoli. Before in Italy, I was playing for 5 or 6 years in Spain. I wanted like a change. When the pandemic started, I wanted a change. I think it makes me feel like the life can be ended in any moment, and I wanted to learn some, like to live another experience out of Spain, like another culture, another country, another soccer, another language. And that's why I moved the last season here to Italy.
How are you enjoying, and how are you enjoying the team and the city?
I used to love Italy. I came here with my brother a couple of years ago, and I really loved the culture and everything. Also, the language for me is so romantic, and I wanted to learn a little bit about Italian. And yeah, I think the food is great. The people has been great with me also, and I don't know. I'm just so happy to be able to focus all my energy on what I really love and what I'm passionate about it. So I'm happy to keep playing and to live like this and make it my career.
Since you brought it up about the pandemic, did that affect a lot of the playing, about a lot of your, like, how did that change the world of are we going to say football or are we going to say soccer? I'm very curious about that. I grew up saying soccer in the United States, but then when I traveled abroad, football, and I was like, it is you do use your foot. Why don't we call it football? So what are your thoughts? Yeah.
Well, because in Spanish we said football, and that's why it's a little bit confused. But for you in the US, it's like football is American football, which is different. So let's call it soccer. I think it's like that.
Okay, we'll call it soccer. Regarding the pandemic and how that changed for you, and there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of I'm not sure, or I'm not, how to handle it. Curious if you could share your perspective.
Well, it's really hard to talk about this because this pandemic affected us. Sometimes we had like a lot of changes and the lose of people and everything just changed in a moment. And for me, well, 1 year ago when it kind of started, I was in Madrid. I was playing on a team called Madrid CFF, and I don't know. One day they just told us, "Hey, this pandemic or this thing like coronavirus is starting, so I think we are not gonna train tomorrow." And okay, we were like, yeah, we're like kind of happy, you don't have to go to work and you don't have to do anything, so you have a free day. But then it continued, so it was like getting more serious, and we were like, okay, what's going to happen? And then we started listening about deaths, and they just had this emergency alert, and everything was closed, and you wasn't able to go out of your place. And in that moment I was living alone because my roommate left to another country, and I was by myself, and I was like scared to go out or to go out of the door because you didn't know like how it can affect your health or your life. Even if you're young, you're not 100% sure you're gonna go through and everything okay with that. So I was kind of scared in the moment, and like the league stopped, and we didn't finish the league, so it was like a moment of uncertainty. Like you really don't know what's going to happen, and I was like, oh, should I go home? Should I wait here in Spain, or am I gonna be able to see my family? Because imagine at that moment you only think about your family, like if they're okay, if they, I don't know, I think about for example, my brother, my sister, my father, my grandmother, that they're in Guatemala, and I'm just thinking about like if they're okay. So I'm more worried about them than worried about me. Like I'm alone, I think I'm gonna be okay. And it affected me a lot on one moment because I was so worried about them. But on the other hand, I was thinking like, okay, I have time, and let's focus on learn something. Let's focus on something different than my daily routine. So at the moment I was studying business administration, like my second master, and I was always like putting that aside, like not giving all my attention to my studies. And I just thought, okay, this is the moment where I have to finish it. So I put all my energy studying, and I just finished my master like a couple of months later. and and also I didn't know if I was going to continue with my team, if I'm gonna have a new contract next year. I was like, you don't know, when you're an athlete and you're a soccer player, you actually, your contract finished and you don't know what's going to happen after that, if you're gonna have another contract, if, I don't know, like where, when. And I was sure that I wanted to leave Spain and to have another experience, because of the pandemic made me think I want something different. I don't want to live. I don't know, like I wanted a change. I needed a change. I needed another experience. So I looked for the opportunity to go to another country, and then this Italy opportunity arrived, and I took it. Like it happens like 5 months later. So that's kind of my moments in the pandemic. Like I was alone the whole time. I was alone. Also, I also work with a psychologist, sports psychologist, who helped me through that moment. And I learned about this mindfulness, which you learn about, like live with purpose every day and to focus on your goals every day. And that like really helped me a lot in my mental health. And I think normally we just focus on our appearance or going to the gym and see like, oh, I'm fit right now, I go to the gym. But actually the mental health, I think, is more important than everything.
I did not know that they had um what did you call the psychologist?
Like
Uh
sports
Athletic,
psychologist.
a sports psychologist. Okay.
Mhm.
Wow, I did not know that was a thing. Oh wow, that's that. I mean, I personally I think that mental health, which is something we spend a lot of time talking about, that is incredibly important. I did not know that they had those, and I think that that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes, actually, we had these meetings with another soccer players from Mexico,
Mhm.
and we met like once in a week
Yeah.
during the pandemic. And I'm really grateful and thankful with this woman, with this girl, because she really helped us a lot. Not also about in the moment, but also we can learn how to, I don't know how to say it, like to work on it when we are playing or when we are back in the season.
Mhm.
Mm, that's great.
Wow, that's awesome. That's fantastic. Can you walk me through your, since we're talking about mental health, through your state of mind when uh, you decided, okay, soccer, that's what I'm going to do. Nothing else. Everything else will come second. But what I want to dedicate my life to soccer. How does that happen? What goes through your mind?
Well, I never thought about soccer like my priority until I finished the university.
Okay.
Because in Guatemala, you always think like you have to study. If you don't study, if you don't have a career, if you don't have a career, then
Mhm.
you cannot be success, or you have no filter. So
Mhm.
for me, always like was focused on my studies. So I had a lot of friends who helped me, some teachers also, because I had to travel. Sometimes I wasn't able to go to classes, so I had like a lot of, I call it my angels, who helped me through all these moments. And I had this experience after I finished the university, or I was almost closing my studies. I had a tournament with the national team, and then we play in Guatemala against Panama, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Honduras, UNCAF zone in Central, the teams from Central America. And then there was a guy who said, hey, I think you can have the opportunity to go or prove yourself on a professional team in the United States. Do you want to come? And I was, yes, of course I want to come. That's like my dream. And they said, okay, you have to travel and you have to pay for everything. And if you sign a contract, then the team will give you back all the money. So I talked with my family and say, hey, I'm having this opportunity. Are you able to help me? You know, it's not cheap. You have to sometimes invest. And obviously my family is not rich. It wasn't rich at the moment. And they just made a lot of efforts to pay me the tickets, to support me since day one. So I traveled to Houston and I did like 3 days of tryouts. And for me, it was like, first day, they train with this staff of 8-10 persons. They have like physio, they have everything. They have protein, they have like these fields, like this organization, the infrastructure. I was like, oh, what is this? Like, I never seen something like that. So for me, it was like a big challenge also, because I had to train with these girls who were like all their lives professional, had all these trainings since they were young. So for me, it was so challenged. And obviously, I wasn't able to share like maybe all my skills in the first days, because also the temperature was so hot and I was dying.
Houston is very hot.
Yes, and I was dying. I don't know. I think I survived. Just I call it like I survived, because it was so hot. And of course, they were training in a level that I never experienced before. So it was so challenging for me. So the coach spoke to me like after these days, and he said, hey, Analu and Ana, they were calling me Ana. Okay, we're not gonna give you a contract, but I think you have like a lot of skills and you want to learn, and we're gonna give you the opportunity to keep training with the team like during the season, like it was like 3 months or something. And we're not gonna give you a contract, but you can be like a reserve player or something, which you kind of be part of the team, because you can go to the games and see the games and be with the team. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do it. And I think that opened my eyes. Like I said before, this shows me a path or something that I never know before. And I wanted to be able to go for my dreams. And I said, okay, I came back to Guatemala and I said, okay, no, this is not what I want. I don't want to stay here. I really want to be a soccer player, or at least try it. You know, you think, oh, I have this talent for a reason. So I wanted to give it the chance. And I wanted to prove myself also that I can do something different. And also at the moment, like my mom was a feminist. She was always like encouraging to do something different as a woman. So she was always saying, no, you have to go. You're gonna be the first. You're gonna be the first at this. You're gonna open a lot of opportunities to other girls in your country. So keep trying. And then the opportunity to go to Spain came, and it was on second division. And I was like, yeah, this is my chance. I'm gonna start from from second division in Spain. I want to do my best. I didn't have any contract. I wasn't receiving any money, so my family had to pay for everything. I like my first year and second year were like very tough because I didn't receive like money, and I was like only at my place. I wasn't able like to live a life, but I sacrificed a lot, and I was very focused on my performance every game, on my training, and then the third year I had my first contract, so everything was worth it. But it was like very, very hard for me to open me these opportunities. First, because I'm from Guatemala and we're not known as big athletes,
Right.
which is
Right.
normal. So I made my own camino. Like
Right. You open your own path.
yes, I opened my own path, and I just showed that when you want to do something, you can do it, even if you're a woman, because
Now,
it's obviously sometimes harder.
how old are you at this time?
I was 24 at the moment.
24.
Yes.
Okay, so for 2 years, you lived in Spain as a freelance. You were just trying to get a contract, correct?
Yes, I went there with a student visa.
Uh-huh.
So the first year I started something with sports, like I don't know, like not professional, or how can I say it? I don't know, like a technical course, like a course, normal.
At this point, uh, in any other perspective, you are really pursuing a dream, correct?
Yes.
I'm as with many people who are pursuing a dream. There is that, and oftentimes it happens very often, that moment of doubt where you say, what if I don't make it, or I'm not gonna make it, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not big, or all those things. What pushed you through those moments?
Well, I think first of all, God, and second, my family. They support me all the time, and they always say I'm the best, even if I'm not. So receiving these positive thoughts about yourself, it gives you like courage to go for your dreams. Especially my first year, I wanted to change to first division, and I end the season with the second division team, which is called Dinamo de Guadalajara. I finished my season, and I asked them permission to go on tryouts with a first division team, who is called Rayo Vallecano, but it was on a different city. So every day I had to travel from Guadalajara to Madrid and to take the train to go every day to training. So I was a little bit scared because I came back at 12 in the night and I had to walk from the train station to my place. So I was saying like, oh God, please be with me. And I was so scared at the moment. And I was thinking, oh, I'm so tired. I'm so tired to train. I'm so tired to go there and come back late. But I believed in myself. I knew I could do it. And I met the coach. It was a woman coach, and I think she saw something different, or I don't know, that I really wanted. And then she gave me the opportunity to be able to play with the team the next season, which it was a big step on my career. And I think I believed in myself. I think I'm a very secure person, or I have confidence on what I can do.
Right.
So maybe I show it to her, and then she saw it, and yeah, it in a moment I was thinking also like, if this is worth it, if this is worth it, all the sacrifices, like being away from my family, how
Right.
especially like you're not at home. Like I wasn't coming back from my trainings to my house with my family, with my people.
Right.
If I had a bad day, I was alone. I was just, okay, let's try this tomorrow to be better. And I had like all this pressure to make a good impression. And who can they? Oh, I'm from Guatemala. What can she offer different than the girls from Spain at the moment?
Right.
So I had a lot of doubts in my life. Like I think every year I had something challenging. Like I don't know. That's life, you know. You struggle with a lot of
Right.
problems in your life, like personal, professional. But I think what makes you different is like to keep forward even when you have all these tough moments in your life.
I mean, I completely understand, and I mean Pete, I mean, Guatemalans, we're not known for being big. I mean, you've seen me. I'm barely 5'7", right? And for me, when you look at a picture of a family picture of me, I tower over everyone in my family. But then I come back to the real world, and there's people like you, like Orpheus, like everybody is 6 foot tall, and I'm like, holy Christ. So that's one of the things that Lucia had to deal with, being that you know, especially Guatemalans are not known for being, you know, big. You know, actually there's a nickname that you had, isn't there?
Okay, they used to call me Chiquitina in
There
school.
you go.
Because I was the smallest. But I have to say I was 12 years old playing with older girls. So I was not right now. I'm not the smallest, I think.
No? Okay. So Chiquitina, what that means, the small one. You know, so that was her nickname for a little while. But I think it was mostly because she was younger than everybody else that she was playing with, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Your mother, she seems to have been an incredible influence in you. And, you know, I mean, your family as a whole. But,
Yeah.
you know, what happens is, and if I may speak out of experience, to Guatemalan women, what they tell them is, you need to learn how to cook. You need to look pretty so you can get married, and somebody will come and take care of you. And that's not what her mom told her, you know. And I think your mom is great for that, because she said, no, whatever you want to do, you can do it. Go do it, and we will support you. I think your mom is awesome, and I would like to send a shout out to your mom for being awesome and raising an awesome daughter.
Yes, right. My mom, like she was so amazing as a mom, but she always was one step forward, like on a different year. Like she was living in a different decade, and
Right.
or maybe she was able to travel a lot, and she could see and learn about different countries and different cultures. And that's why she wanted to share with us, like, hey, if you're a girl or a boy, we are all the same. And
Right.
I don't know, it was like a big influence for me, and I wanted to keep doing what she did, and to be
Okay.
helpful with to give hope for the
Right.
younger people in my country. And I think that's awesome, where you can have like, you can be an example
Right.
for other people. And like you said, we are so small, and I'm with these sports, and all the girls are bigger than me. All the girls are bigger than me, and mostly like everyone. But now I have something different, which I'm skilled. So it's kind of different that they have, like, they are probably stronger, they may be taller, I don't know. But I have like also these different skills that they don't have. And like you said, I have always like maybe like a handicap, let's call it. Like it's like different for me, and it's been different for me, like as a woman, as my culture as a Guatemalan, as I don't know, everywhere I go is so like you have to show yourself, like you have to prove yourself. And
Right.
if you're from a different country, you're from Brazil, okay, she's a good player. I mean, you don't have to prove it. And also it happens to me with my ex-coach. He said, we had this girl from Guatemala, like, who is she? Like, who is she? Like, where is this country? And he was kind of,
Oh, they don't know where Guatemala is.
yes, they don't even know, but they treat like Guatemala like, less.
Right.
It's just like you have to fight against this stuff, and it's
Right. You have to work. You have to fight extra hard.
exactly
Right.
like you have to prove yourself every day.
I like to jot down specific words that guests share, and you use the word "I believed in myself" more than once. Just to add on to what Henry had brought up, I believe that what I'm finding with like mental health is that there are things that people say to us. There are the negative things, right? What you've shared that you've had to go through, like maybe different cities, different teams, you've had to experience that, and how you've able to filter out. I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm gonna quiet that down, and I'm gonna focus on me. I'm gonna show me. And then there are those other, like you said, like angels, right? The people that come into our lives that lift us up, that believe in us. That I was gonna say the same thing about your mother. Like I think about like my mom, and she's the type of person that whenever, like even when I was a teenager, when people met my mom, they were like, she's the coolest woman well, they didn't say woman, but they said, she's the coolest mom I've ever met. And I'm like, what about your mom? I just think that those are the type of things in life that we have to honor, we have to respect, and we have to pay attention to. So the fact that your mother, being who she is, being like whatever her background, whatever her story was, and then when it came time to share her perspective with her daughter, she gave you something that stuck with you, right? And it's kept you strong, and it's kept you, thriving and healthy. So I just think that that's amazing. And I love that you shared that, because I think a lot of people, they need to hear that. They need to hear, let's quiet down those voices that aren't doing us any good. And let's, I always say, turn up the volume on the ones that do. Like Henry. Wait, where'd he go? I had to put you on the spot. Okay. So then Henry is like one of those for me. He said some things to me before, and it's like, it pops up in conversations sometimes. I wanted to ask you, recently, you discovered this thing more, working with the sports psychologist about mental health. But prior to, you weren't really aware of that. It was just more of just your the way you lived, your lifestyle. Or yeah, I'm very curious, because it seems like you already had a lot of these things that you learn that help, with people's, mental health, being healthier at least.
I think if maybe before I wasn't, I didn't put the name on the things.
Gotcha.
And now I can name it and learn about it, and being able to live with a purpose every day on how to manage the problems better, how to manage the struggles, like personal, professional, on your work, on every environment, like your personal relations. Now I have like a different perspective, or I know how to control myself and are not letting this bad stuff affecting too much my life, and see like more the positive than the negative. So I think right now, I know I have a lot of problems. I know we all have problems, but I just try to focus on the good. And right now I had this change of team that I wasn't expecting, and I wasn't like, it wasn't planned. I wasn't probably ready, and then I had to move to a different team and start from zero, as my friends. I'm alone again. I have to build my relations. But instead of focusing on the negative, I'm focusing on the positive, and that's what people should do. Like every day, we have a lot of bad stuff, but sometimes we like give all the bad stuff all our energy, and we are not able to see how lucky we are to have a lot other different things, or like these amazing people. Sometimes we lose people, but we don't appreciate the people that we have right now. Or I don't know, like it happens with your job. Like when the pandemic started, maybe you were not able to see how lucky you were at the moment of being able to go to work, or your health. So now you appreciate more. But I think right now I'm living on this moment to focus on my everything, like my relations with the people who help me or to give me positive things, and not focus on the judgments or the bad comments. Right now, like with social media, it's so easy to get infected with all these negative comments, and sometimes it affected you on a different level, and maybe you can struggle with depression. And I think right now is more how you feel, or your health, your mental health.
That's really interesting that you bring up the social media aspect, because just the other day, I made a post regarding just how toxic it can be if we're not careful. Like even how we post, because I'm reading, you know, a lot of people attacking others, a lot of the mask and all that stuff, but also regarding some recent events with domestic violence and that kind of stuff. Locally here, especially, but also how we consume it, how we take it in. So what advice do you have, since we brought up the social media? What do you do to keep yourself in that positive framework, and then not to let that distract you from your purpose, from your goals?
Right now, I just think a lot of people judge me from because they are sometimes egoístas, Henry. I don't know. They have envy of my life, or jealousy.
Jealousy and envy.
Wow.
Yeah, they just put any comments or negative comments, or you're just a tourist, you're not played. I mean, they don't even know my life, but they are criticizing me, or because I'm a woman and I play soccer. And right now, there are like just a couple more soccer players, men playing outside. So for them, for the men in my country, maybe that's not like, oh, but you're a girl, so that's not important. Oh, so they want to minimize my
efforts.
See, yeah, my efforts. They want to minimize, and they criticize me. And what I do right now, like I just block the people actually, or just silence them, because it's not any good. And a lot of kids follow me, and I don't want that they see these comments also, because they see me sometimes as an example, or they say, Analu, I want to be like you. You really helped me with my dreams, or give me an advice. So they see me as an inspiration, and I wanted to keep it like this. Obviously, I'm not perfect. I want to be good for these people also. So right now, I just block the people or silence them, and not let anyone take me my happiness away.
I couldn't even imagine a world or a train of thought that would have something to criticize about you. I didn't even think that was a thing. I guess you're gonna kind of encounter that no matter where. Like I couldn't see a way why anyone would criticize you or say anything negative about you. There is something I read somewhere a long time ago, and I mean maybe like 2 years ago or something like that. There was something that said, I think the mother asked a daughter, what do you want to do when you grow up? and she said, "I want to be like Analu." Did you read that?
Yes, I read it, and
How was that moment for you?
well, for me it was incredible, because one of the reasons that I keep fighting for my dream, and that I keep playing, is because of them, is because of my country, because of these girls and boys that think they don't have hope, that maybe they are not going to be able to pursue their dreams. So for me it was awesome to know the story, and it gives me also like motivation and energy to keep doing what I'm doing, even if I'm struggling, because also soccer is like very competitive, and sometimes it's like you're not in the best moment, sometimes you have injuries, sometimes you're in the bench, you're not playing, you're not having a good time. Also you have a lot of stress because uh, it's your job and they're paying for it, so it's more than just a hobby like it used to be, like just having fun. Now you
Right.
have a lot of pressure to do the things right, but it gives me a lot of motivation and to keep doing what I'm doing, and that I have a purpose. I think I have a purpose with my country, and I have a responsibility to share my story with the people, and to let them know that everything is possible and they can do it as I'm doing it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's fantastic. I love that. There are very few role models from Guatemala. There's very few people that the kids can say, "Oh, I can make it too." I can get out of this, whatever their situation is, and do something good or big with my life. Analu is one of those few people that kids, especially girls, little girls and women, that can look and say, "Wow, I can do it too." And I think that that's one of the things that I mostly admire a lot about you, that you give those little girls, I mean, in Guatemala, and all over the world, that don't have a source of inspiration. And I'm thankful that that is you, and thank you for doing that for them. At the same time, you're living your life, which is great.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I'm very lucky to live my life like this, especially coming from Guatemala and be able to work as a professional soccer player and to have a contract and to live all these experiences. And I don't know, I never thought I could be able to travel to Europe or to be on different amazing places. And I think I also work for it, and I now all this work is making like is real because of all my efforts.
When Henry told me about you, then I hopped on and found you on the Instagram, and I was like, oh, she's like, so positive. And also,
Right.
I want to tell you, my favorite picture is, I think it might be on your Facebook profile or whatever. It's the one with the mountains in the back, and then like, I think there's mountains in the back, and you're like kicking the ball, and it's a great picture. So, go check that out, listeners. But I wanted to ask you about your choice for your studies, and what brought you to, because I was looking at it and I was like, wow, you excel in these different areas in life that that itself is inspirational. The fact that, and you even said it a couple of times, like, I just did it, right? I made a choice to do it. And that's
Yeah.
just like a such an important key factor for people's choices in life.
In school I was a very good student and I really loved to study and I was good at it, and it just felt natural to study engineering. I didn't know which one specifically, but I had like this teacher who told me like, hey, I think you're good at chemistry. I think you like it, and maybe you can study this like chemical engineering. And I talked to my family, and they say, yeah, it's a good option. But then when you are in school, they make you this test. I don't know about like to help you to choose your career depending
Like
on
an
your skills.
aptitude test type of thing.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. So I had like 3 different careers. So the like architecture, law, and engineering, and also sports. That I was like good at it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for chemical engineering, and I asked a couple of friends that at the moment they were studying chemical engineering. So I decided to study that. But like I said, since I was a child, I was very competitive. I always wanted to be like number one in everything. So I was like really focused on being a great student, and I had the best um, how do you say score also in my school. Como fui la abanderada de mi promoción del bachillerato.
Okay,
El mejor promedio.
académicamente.
Sí,
Okay,
académico.
so she was what's it called, the top student of her class.
Yes, exactly, like that.
Okay.
Yeah, the best student, and I was considered the best athlete also of my school. So I was just trying to be the best and to do everything with excellence. That's, I think, the word who defines me is to do everything with excellence and just to start something and finish it, because sometimes you do like 1,000 stuff but you never finish one. So I focused on chemical engineering, I finished it. Then I went to Spain, and my mom said, you have the opportunity to be in Spain, you should keep studying. So I started a master in data scientist, was very, very hard for me because I never liked too much computer, and it was very, very hard for me. But I started and I finished it just like I supposed to do it. And then I keep studying, and like I just train 2 hours or 3 hours a day, sometimes 4, depends on the day. But I have a lot of free time, so I give my energy also to keep my education and to keep studying and to think about my future and to be an independent woman, and just um, to be able to have a future also after football or soccer.
You said something that to me it's very important, and it's very difficult to find uh, in naturally, which is start something, dedicate yourself to it, and finish it. Where does that come from? Is that something that you had to work on, or is that something that you always did? Or did you
I
have to teach yourself that?
No, my mom. Everything I know, it was from her, and she was like, if you start something, finish it. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, just if you start something, you have to finish it. And for me, it's like it comes natural. Like, it's not
Okay.
like this big effort that I have to do it, or like I'm stressed. It's like it's just how it is. It's just how it's supposed to be. So I start something and then I finish, or like with a movie, I'm just like that with a movie or with a book. It's like, oh, I started, so I have to finish. Like, it doesn't matter if I don't like the movie. It doesn't matter if I don't like the book. I just have to finish it.
Right.
It comes natural.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I mean, I struggled with that, in the earlier part of my life. I was one of those people that would start many things and not finish any of them. So I had to teach myself no, and sometimes it gets uncomfortable, and sometimes it gets tiring, and sometimes it gets frustrating. I had to teach myself no, finish it, see it through. And it's awesome to see that you do it naturally, and probably your mom pushing you in that direction as well.
I think I was very lucky to have her as a mom, and
Mhm.
also my dad and my family in general. I think we always are pushing each other to be the best version of ourselves, not only as professionals, but also as a person with values. Because I think one of the most important things that it opened me all these doors or opportunities is like the way I am as a person, not the way I'm also as a player, but also as a person, that I'm a good teammate, I'm a good um, athlete, and I'm nice with my coach, I'm very respectful, and I have all these values, and I think it also opens you a lot of opportunities.
Every picture, every video, you always have this big smile on your face. And I think that, I mean, listen, it goes a long way and it shows who you are as a person, because especially, I mean, I think that you are an extreme example where doubt and negativity could, is very rampant. It's is very present, and you just smile it off, and you just move, keep moving on. And I think that's awesome, being able to move forward instead of letting something beat you down. You just keep pushing forward.
Yes, yes, I think it's a very good example of my life, because, as I said, sometimes it's not as good as it seems, but you have to keep trying and you have to keep fighting. And I only try to focus on the positive stuffs and try to smile all the time, even if obviously I have moments where I cried a lot, or I've been also through depression, but it's like that. But you just have to keep trying, to keep fighting, to keep doing what gives you life and a motive. So it's been like a roller coaster in my life, but I'm very happy about every experience.
I think it would be great to hear, what are some of the things besides just, I mean, obviously your attitude, right? That always, that's always great. Is there anything specifically that you do, whether it's, I call a specific friend of mine, to talk to, or I love it that you said you cry, right? Because lots of times people there's a stigma about crying, especially for men, right? That we can't do it. But it's such a human thing. And I know myself that I was raised in an environment, not that crying wasn't allowed, but more like there was other things more important than crying. But as I've gotten older, I realized that's just one emotion of the spectrum of all the emotions. So, and there's even like, I don't have it, but there's even a pillow designed for crying into. I don't know if you know about that. Yeah.
No, I did not know.
They're like, yeah. So just make sure it's for crying. Okay. Not anything else. Could you share just maybe a couple of things? Because obviously that's a longer conversation. I think it's always helpful to hear from different individuals. And especially, someone, with your experience and your knowledge and your personality. So I'd love to hear you share about what are the things that you do when things are tough, when things are like, oh, this is so tough, right? How do you get through it?
Well, this is a very difficult question. But in my life, I am a Christian, so sometimes I just pray or talk to God, who helped me through all these things in my life. And also I look for these people that, I don't know, like family, friends, who are always able or to listen to you and like cheer you up sometimes. And what I learned is that it's good also to be vulnerable, and you will have like these tough moments, and you don't have to be alone and to struggle it alone, and that you can talk and you can share these moments with other people. Because I'm a person that I had a lot of problems when I like, especially being alone and away from home, that I wasn't sharing at the moment, and I was like fighting with a lot of stuff, and I never shared. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna share, and I don't want to show this part of me because I always been strong, and I always have this smile, and like always happy, and I didn't want to share like all these problems. But I think sometimes you just need to talk about the things, or to look for this person who makes you feel comfortable and who makes you feel safe and with no judgment. And I think that's also very good for you, and not just to close yourself and be in your room and not do nothing, don't eat, don't go anywhere, don't have a purpose in your life or in your day. I think it's also good to be alone, but I think all you have a lot of people who cares about you, and they're like 100%. They're gonna help you through this moment. So, like you said, I've been crying. I was angry. I was alone. I was. You have to find a reason, a purpose, something you like, and you're gonna go through these tough moments in your life.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
I'm trying to digest what Ana Lu just said, which is purpose. You know, in a moment, I think that in a moment where you're feeling down and perhaps out, what happens is that you lose purpose at that moment. And what she is describing is, okay, I'm going to find purpose at this time because that's what's going to drive me forward. I think that that's a great technique, or something that we can all just take and use in our daily lives where things don't go our way. Find a purpose, and that will get us out of it. Thank you. I love that. Thank you.
At the end of the podcast, I like to ask 5 random questions to our guests. And so, because today Henry and I are co-hosting, we're just gonna like switch off, you know, that kind of thing. Henry, I don't know if you have any prepared.
Oh man, no. But okay. I will buy you some time and tell you about something about Analu that I didn't know until very recently. She has a movie.
Un día de sol.
Right, a day of sun or something to that effect. I did not know it existed. And I can't wait to watch it. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
2018? No, 2008, sorry. One guy went to my team, and he said like he was looking for a girl or girls who can be on his movie, and it was about a girl who plays soccer, but her dad didn't let her to play. So it was like this fight with the dad and with her dream. And after a couple of how can you say, like tryouts, I don't know, like they interview and they ask you, and you go to a studio and you kind of act with someone else. They chose me as the principal or character.
No, she's the star of the movie.
Yeah, it was so, I don't know, it was random because I'm not an actress, so I received like a couple classes about acting, and it was like a completely different experience for me, like go to the set and make the movie and all these different environments and places, and met a lot of people, and obviously how to make movies in Guatemala, which it was so interesting. And it was funny because I played with the national team and I scored a couple of goals, and I was on the newspapers of Guatemala, and they added it to the movie at the end. So it was
really?
Like so real. Like it looks like it's real, like it's my story. And I think it was meant to be. I don't know, it was meant to be, because also like the movie talk about this girl who wanted to be a soccer player, and she had to fight for it. She had to study hard. She didn't like to study too much, and she had to prove herself to be responsible, to have discipline. Obviously that wasn't me, but that's the story. You can see it or watch it in YouTube about the story. But it was so great to experience that. And now like it happened 12 years ago or 13, and I'm able to see myself at the moment. Like I didn't know what the future wanted to show me later. Like I kind of made my dreams true. So
Right,
it's so nice.
that's awesome. When I found out about it, I'm like, why do I not know this, and why have I not watched this movie yet? So I'm gonna make it my personal goal to watch it this weekend. And
Yes, and the three girls that we are like the most important girls on the film, like one of them is here also in Italy, diseñadora de modas, like
Okay.
designer.
Yeah, like a fashion designer.
Yes. Fashion, yes. And the other one is in Canada, like acting. So it's I don't know, it's so amazing that how this happened. Like the three girls are not living in Guatemala, they are doing like different stuff, and it's just awesome.
Henry, will you make sure that that we get that link and we can share it with the
I'm
audience?
sure I'm going to find it. I'm gonna make it a personal goal to find it before the weekend is over.
I'm gonna share it with you, the link.
Okay. Oh, perfect.
Oh.
Thank you. Pete, did you come up with a question that you might want to ask?
Oh yeah, I've had them ready.
Oh, you've had them ready. That's not fair.
I have two that I wrote down. So my first question is, do you have any heroes, professional, other sport players, or just when you hear that word hero, who are your heroes?
My mom, my hero from since day one. And I think I also like a lot this soccer player from the US called Mia Hamm, who was the top scorer in the moment, and they made like a big change in soccer. So also her, I'm gonna say.
When you hear the word joy, where does your mind go?
For me, joy, I relate it to be in peace at the moment, to be in peace. Like, or I think about my family, and if they're okay, I'm gonna be okay. So that's kind of my joy.
Okay. Excellent.
That's great.
Well,
what's your favorite animal?
My favorite animal is the dolphin.
And why?
They're smart, and their skin is so soft, and they seem so free.
If I were a genie, okay, and I come out of my lamp and say, I'll give you one wish, what's that wish?
One wish, like feed all the people, like not like everyone has enough food to eat.
Okay. And hunger?
Yeah, and hunger. Yeah.
Okay.
See, this is fun. When you're not practicing, when you're not in game mode, what do you like to do with your free time, or what do you like to do? You know, it could be more than one thing too.
Well, I'm gonna say like my hobbies are like traveling and watch Netflix. I like to watch Netflix and TV series or movies also.
What was the last series that you watched that you would recommend to people to watch?
Oh, I fell in love to This Is Us. I think it's one of the best TV series.
To be what?
This Is Us.
Oh, This Is Us?
to Are you all caught up?
Yes. I'm just, and in the last season, I'm just waiting for the new episodes.
I watched that show very closely. No spoilers, but the one where Randall goes back home, to his mother's home.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
What?
I just.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
I watched the last episode, which. Yeah, spoiler alert. He knows about his mom.
Okay. Well, watch it. It's out there. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Is that all the questions?
I think if you have one more, you could do that one more.
I don't really. Well, I have a question, but it's more like something I just want to put out there. So both of you mentioned that in Guatemala, lots of times the women are told to cook, clean, right? What Analu, what you did was a rare thing, right? And you're I got the word. You're trailblazing. You're creating a path for others to follow, or others to create their own paths. In a recent conversation with my cousin, she talked about growing up in our Chinese culture, how it was difficult for her to be her authentic self. She's also small, but she's very vocal. If there's something that you could say to the girls, I mean, I think this could also go for boys too, right? But lately, I've been hearing so many stories about women not having their voices heard. And one of the things that inspires me about you is that part of your purpose is being a trailblazer, being a leader, being even a mentor, being an example for so many people, right? But you're just being your authentic self. So what would you say to the girls out there who maybe, and I know I'm kind of pushing it a little bit, but asking this, but if their families want them to be or do something else where they don't have that support, what advice would you have, or what thoughts do you have around that?
Well, I think it's so hard to change people's mind or change a whole society. Like, it's been years like this, and it's kind of changing right now. Like, I see a lot of girls playing soccer in my country, and when I was 9 years old, for example, I didn't see too many girls, or they were saying, "Oh, she's a boy," or something like that. And I sometimes receive like critics. They judge me for playing soccer. So it's not like we all will have like all these bad comments, and especially when our family is not supporting us, it's even harder. But I think you always will have someone who will help you, and someone who can talk to you, or I don't know, give a hand, or at least give you an advice at the moment. And we have to share it. Like, sometimes we don't communicate, or we think, oh, they're not gonna listen to me, or I don't know how to say this to them. But I think the most important part is to share, and to share how we feel, to be more to communicate better. And I think maybe we can change their minds if we speak to them, and we, like, I don't know, we share them like another examples of success. For example, like, if a girl see, no, you cannot live about football or soccer, you can share my story. Like, you have always a person who did it, so it's also, it can change their minds also.
That's lovely. Thank you for sharing that. I'm good. How are you all feeling?
I do have one question, but it's not gonna be anywhere as good as yours, so I'm just gonna keep it to myself. You know. So I just want to say to Analu that she is an inspiration, and it's amazing to see that all you have to do to be an inspiration is be yourself. And on behalf of all those little people in Guatemala, I want to thank you for not only just being you, but also making the effort to be the person that they need to see, so they can see that they can achieve something in life. So I just want to thank you for being that. That is all I have to say.
Thank you to you for your time and to give me like this moment to share my story with you and more people maybe, and hopefully I can inspire someone who listen to this podcast. And what I want to say, like, whatever you are, or you can achieve everything you want.
Thank you, Analu. Thank you, Henry. Really enjoyed this time together. And what is it, like almost 6-7 o'clock over there, Analu?
Yeah, almost 6.
Okay, well, enjoy the rest of your evening, and Henry, enjoy your Saturday morning. Thank you for taking the time, and I'm so glad that you were able to, find time, in your schedule with the practices and the games. And so thank you for honoring that and sharing the space with us. And just want you to know that if you ever need that support, you have Henry, you have me now. So keep it up. And as we say in Chinese, when it comes to like sports, add oil. Ga yao, it means keep at it.
Thank you. It was so nice to see you, Henry.
Thank you so much for this. I know. Thank you for sharing your story with us, and thank you for being you. One, same thing. Thank you for being you. You are loved. You are enough. And what else?
Starts with W.
Worth it. No.
Close.
Oh,
close.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
I think you should have Analu say it.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah, you. Yeah, you're supposed to say it.
Okay, I'm gonna say it.
Okay.
You are loved, you are enough, you are worthy. Blessings to all.
Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you so much for everything. I will see you guys around. Thank you.
Bye.
I'm gonna go watch the movie.
Please. Bye.
Right, bye. Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next week. And remember, you are loved, you are enough, and you are worthy. Blessings to all of you.